Welcome back, everybody, to the Words from the Nerds podcast. I am, of course, joined by Mr. Charley and Aiden for this wonderful episode, episode number 86, where we will be talking Mickey 17, Daredevil episode 3, and the season 3 finale of Invincible. So lots of exciting discussions, a little bit of housekeeping first and foremost. If you're watching on YouTube, you can leave a comment and also hit that like button down below. Charlie, you better wake up and lock in. You're yawning 30 seconds in. Wake up, man. Wake up. Okay. You can hit that like button down below. Leave a comment. We didn't get any comments last week on the YouTube, but we always read them out, whether it's positive or negative. Whatever you guys want to hear from us, ask us any questions, whatever it may be. We're always excited when that happens to just further engage in that discussion. Also, if you're on an audio listening platform, make sure to drop a rating. 5 stars would be appreciated. 4 stars if, we're not quite up to par, but that's up to you. We appreciate it either way. And yeah, I think I've covered my basis. We'll just hop right into it. Charlie, just so you can wake up a little bit,
This guy.
talk to me. How you doing?
I'm good, man. I'm good. A little tired. Woke up for work today, and I'm trying to drink less energy drinks. Not that I drink a ton of them, but I feel like that might be the cause of some of my stomach pain. So I'm kind of because I was thinking back. I had a stomach ache recently, but it wasn't as bad. It slowly went away. Um, over the course of the day. Normally my bad ones I have to like sleep them off or try to. But I was thinking back to like when I was a kid and the very first energy drink I ever had was a NOS. Um because it was for I only got it because there was like they had a deal with like Batman Arkham City or something and you could get like a special skin in the game, and so I was like, oh, I need to get that skin, so I'll get a NOS from 7-Eleven, and I'll just maybe I'll drink it. I've never had an energy drink, so but whatever. And I remember drinking it. I had the worst stomach ache in my life back then. I remember that, but I think I've forgotten that, and so um, drinking energy drinks on an empty stomach, yada yada yada, is probably not a good idea. So I'm going to stop doing that. But other than that, that's just a long-winded way to say, I'm good now. So I'm I'm pleasant. I'm especially after the content that I just consumed. Let's just say I'm in a good mood. I'm in a good mood, man.
Are you trying to cut like cold turkey or just cut back slowly over time?
Oh, cold turkey. It's not even that hard for me. Like I said, I really don't drink them that often. Sometimes at like I'll probably still like here's the thing. Here's the thing where I struggle with. There's one brand that I very much enjoy, Ghost. And I think I've told this to Aiden before. I love the Ghost energy drinks. Um and the thing is like every now and then they drop a new flavor and I gotta try it. And it's all like they're not like monsters, it's all like zero, not zero calorie. I think it's like 10 calories, like zero sugar, yada yada yada. But it's like two to 300 milligrams of caffeine or something.
Jeez.
Yeah. Um, and so I'll probably try like whenever there's a new flavor out. I think there's like a peach one coming out and like one called like straw bango, but it used to be like straw bango margarita, and like they're changing. But I'll probably try those. But like other than that, yeah, I don't think I'm gonna be. And I don't like coffee either. I'm not a person that really needs caffeine. Like
Yeah.
I can go like I'm fine. Like I woke up at 5 a.m. today and I raw dogged it all day. Like I'm fine.
Yeah.
So I don't know why I drink those energy drinks. I guess just for the taste. So I can just easily stop, and it's not going to be an issue at all. But
Yeah.
those flavors, man, they get me
I
every
mean,
time.
like I'm the same with soda. I'm a big soda guy and I don't
Mhm.
I don't need it. I don't drink coffee either, but I just really enjoy it.
Yeah.
So I mean, I have my phases, but like I went through a time period where I decided to like not drink it at all during the week, and then I would let myself drink soda on like Friday and Saturday nights. Um, and I don't think it affects my sleep very much, but then there's other times where I'm like, maybe it does, and it's hard to tell, how those things really affect you. until you quit, I guess, and then maybe you'll see the benefit.
Hopefully.
Aiden,
Yeah.
how you doing? Are you done playing
Uh,
Marvel Rivals for the podcast?
Maybe we'll see if I load it back up
Make
before we're
sure you
finished here.
screen
We
share.
start
You
saying
know.
some bullshit. Aiden's like, nah, let's don't do this shit, bro.
I'm like this, just click, click, click. I'm doing pretty good. On the topic of energy drinks, yeah, man, I drink them way too much.
Which
I
ones do
blame
you
my
drink?
dad.
I think we've talked about it.
So Celsius now. I started off with Bangs, which were 300 milligrams of caffeine.
Yeah.
Because my dad just always drank them. So I was like, and I was working a really labor heavy job um, when I was in Texas. And so I just would drink them every day and it would just wake me up. I'd get going, whatever. And then when I got my second job here, um, the vending machine in the office space that we were working didn't have Bangs. They only had Celsius. So I was like, all right, whatever, I'll try Celsius out. And then I have never went back. I love Celsius, but
I like
I
Celsius too.
probably shouldn't. I really should probably slow down a bit or whatever. I think I might cut down to just having them whenever I am opening and having to wake up at 5:30 because man, waking up and getting straight into the action of just throwing every single product in that store is rough. Um, but anyways, I'm doing great. I'm very excited to get into all of this stuff. It's been a very fun week. A lot of stuff coming to an end next week. One of the biggest shows of the year that will probably be talked about throughout the year is coming to an end as well. So, first phase of this year has been awesome, dude. And I'm sure we can talk about it next week when Severance is over. But just to jump ahead and, get ahead of it a little bit, we've gotten some very awesome TV shows that have kept everyone afloat throughout the weeks of their, respective days that they dropped on. For a little bit there, it was Spider-Man, Severance, Invincible. I mean, that was just peak life. The getting the Ortbo episode, and then I don't know if it was episode 4 or the first 3 episodes of Invincible, but then also getting the other 2 shows that same week. I mean, it's been such a fun ride, but spring is upon us. The season has changed. It's very hot over here. I say hot, but 75 degrees is more than enough for me. And so it's on to the next. And I'm very excited to close out this chapter, or as Severance would say, I'm ready to close out this quarter. So
Finishing up Cold Harbor.
yeah, we got to meet quota. All right.
Yeah. Yeah, the weather's been really nice here as well. Like I think it's perfect. It's crazy how fast it changed. I feel like it was super cold like a week ago and now it's just like literally
Yeah.
perfect weather. So that's exciting as well. I feel like that just helps my mood a lot when it's really nice just throughout the day. And like when I come home, I'm not rushing to get inside and wanting to coop myself in. I want to like go on a walk or just sit outside. Like
Yeah.
it's just like a really refreshing type of feeling when the weather is nice.
I will say I've always my whole life have been a very big rainy day, cloudy, overcast, cold weather type of guy. Like that is where I thrive. My fiance is the exact opposite. And since I've moved in with her, I've been open to the idea of maybe liking summer a little bit,
Liking the outdoors.
maybe enjoying, a little bit of the nice weather activities outside. Like I think back and when we had 10 inches of snow, I kept thinking back like, man, we were really just out at the pool and I came home just dark. Like I get dark when I'm out there. But like that tan felt so good and I was like, man, why am I thinking these thoughts right now? I should not be thinking these thoughts. So I'm a little bit, I'm decently excited for these next couple of months.
I think I align with you. Just the same kind of dynamic with me and my wife. That like a nice chill rainy day or even a snowy day, if I can just be in my place, not have to worry about driving anywhere, those are good vibes too. I definitely go both ways. But I don't know. I guess it's easier to appreciate as it's starting to switch to spring, just because it's happening on a more consistent basis. What are you guys laughing about?
It didn't even click in my head, and so I watched out of the corner of my eye. I saw Aiden.
It's
You said that you could go both ways.
Dude. Come on.
Oh
Dude,
my
we're
God.
5, man. We're 5 years old.
Anyways, so I'm doing well.
Awesome.
And yeah, I would say the weather is the biggest thing. Everything else is pretty consistent. Just kind of the same updates from the last couple of weeks. So making
Getting the
progress.
move on.
Making progress towards some big life changes, and that's exciting, but not really much to update on with any of that. Just, yeah, things are going well. I'm glad you mentioned the peak TV season that we're in. I'm very happy about that because that's like starting to slow down, and then we'll get into what I'm really probably more excited for, to be honest, which is peak movie season, because that really starts in April, I would say, and continues through like the summer.
Yeah.
So I'm really excited for that transition as well. I even my theater finally got like a movie subscription service.
Yo, let's go.
And so they offered like a yearly membership and whatnot, and so that's nice.
What is yours? What does that one entail for you?
So it entails, if you do a monthly, I'll just explain the monthly because it's easier. If you do the monthly subscription, then it's $10 a month, and you get one free standard ticket every single month. And then any additional tickets are still at that same $10 rate. And then let's say like you wanted to do IMAX or something, you get $10 of it for free, and I'd have to pay like $2 or something to go see something in IMAX if I wanted to use my free ticket. And then also I can use that on any like friends and family that I'm with, which just as a in general, a standard ticket is closer to like $12 nowadays. So it's really just like, if you're going at least once a month, it makes sense to do it. You can stack your credits. So if I don't go 1 month and I don't use it, I just have 2 the next month.
Wow,
So,
that's
like
nice.
on the low months, like January, which in my case, I'd probably end up going. But for some people, they don't go in January, but they might want to save up a couple and then go to 3 in March or April or something like that. So they have flexibility with that as well. And then the only benefit of doing it as a yearly membership is you get 1 month for free. So you're basically paying, you could look at it, you're paying for 11 months, you get 1 month free, or you're just paying slightly less for the monthly cost, basically. So I mean,
sounds
like
exactly like Cinemark's, like the exact same.
I mean, I'm sure it is. But like when I went to Mickey 17 this past weekend, I was like, okay, I just paid $12 for my ticket, and I could have spread that out to a monthly cost of like $9.50, and it's the same ticket, it's the same seat, it just costs less. So it just made sense to make that switch. Seemed pretty easy, so that's exciting. The only other thing before we hop into it that I will mention is, obviously Aiden mentioned that Severance is happening. Next week is the final episode, but we're all kind of in different stages of Severance. Charlie hasn't seen last week's episode. I haven't seen this week's episode, and Aiden has seen all of it. So we're all in slightly different stages, so we're just not going to have any discussion on that. But then hopefully next episode, but we might have to do it a couple episodes from now. The next time we talk about it, we're just going to talk about kind of the rest of the show, the whole season, looking forward to what's coming in the future and whatnot. So we're not going to have any discussion on Severance today. But Aiden?
I will say finale should be phenomenal. It should be insane based on what we got today. But just real quick on terms of like the TV stuff, last year at this time, I missed out on like everything that was coming out. I even missed out on like a lot of movies. So like I wasn't able to participate in like Invincible season 2 discussion, X-Men 97 discussion. So like I'm 3 episodes away from being caught up on One Piece. I've kind of taken my time and slowed down a whole lot because part of me doesn't want to catch up. But because I am almost caught up, I have been able to participate in every single weekly show that's dropped that we've, paid attention to so far this year. And I've also just been able to participate in like the memes and like everything online, like as it's going on, which I didn't get any of that last year. I kind of just brushed everything to the side and it was just straight work and straight One Piece and, just straight reaction videos. So I will say, as we close the curtain on like the big TV part of the year and go into the movie part, gotta say, I mean, it was so fun to just kind of be back in it, even just doing the pod and like having time to do the podcast and whatever. It's just fun to be back in the groove of seeing everyone talk about these amazing shows. So it's a bittersweet goodbye as we close this chapter, but let's talk about Mickey 17.
And I'll just say, thank God that you're almost done with One Piece, because I'm getting, yeah.
Hey, the show isn't over, buddy. I mean, we still got lots of stuff.
And I know they're gonna redo it and whatever. I get
the
it.
end is nowhere in sight right now. So strap in. Got about 5-10 more years.
Moving on to Mickey 17, which was Aiden's 5th draft pick for our little 2025 movies and television show predictions and little competition that we're doing based on their Rotten Tomatoes scores, which we talked more on that last week. We don't need to do a list update every single week. We'll keep track of the points. And I guess, we didn't have an audience score, I don't think.
Yeah, we didn't have an audience score last week, so that's a little bit of an update right now.
Yeah. So I think since last week, the critics dropped to the 70s range to a 78%. And then the audience score, I think, started in the mid 80s and then now has dropped to a 73%. So both of them are within the 70s range, which how we're doing our scale, anything within the 70s is all the same point value.
Yeah, I believe. Let me double check here.
I think it's just 0.
That actually drops Aiden down to 2 points rather than 4. As of last week, Aiden was sitting at 4 points, but now because both the critic score and the audience score are in the 70s, that drops him down to 2 points.
Hey, you know what, man? I'll never regret putting a Bong Joon-ho film in my list. There's to be able to say, yeah, I put that new Bong Joon-ho movie that came out that year on my list. I mean, hey, it is what it is. I'll take this one on the chin. If I, in a perfect world, could I have had a better list? And, could I have had some things in there that I would much rather have over Mickey 17? Yes, but life ain't perfect. You know what I mean? So Mickey 17, I still got points on the board. I'm over 0. I'm fine with that. It's a long year ahead of us. Lots of things can happen. So, it is what it is, man. It is what it is. Charlie, you might as well. You don't have to do it on recording, but you can go ahead and dock some points off of yours too, buddy. Just to make it fair,
What?
Invincible
Why?
season 3 is no longer at 100%. It's at a 99.
That's not true. I'm looking at it right now.
I was looking at it literally right before we recorded.
Right here. It's at 100%.
Dude, the audience score went up too. You don't remember like right before we recorded and I was like,
I didn't look. I remember you said that, but I didn't look.
The overall show has a 99%. But you
Oh
have to
my!
look specifically
I
at
thought I
the
clicked
different
season
seasons.
3.
Oh,
Damn, I thought I
okay.
clicked season 3.
No, season 3
All
is
right.
at 100%.
I was like, what? No, me drop
Well,
points.
because
Why?
the season 3 thumbnail they use and the overall season thumbnail they use is the same. So I was like, oh shit, bet I'm on season 3. Oh, all right. Well, shit, you're good, Charlie. You're good. You're good. All right, you're good. Don't come at me. Don't come at me.
Hey, I didn't say nothing. No, I ain't saying nothing. I do want to point out, though, just to in Aiden's defense, and how like this is probably. I mean, we don't know how many reviews Daredevil has, but I'm willing to bet that it's, as of right now, not 272 like Mickey 17 is.
Yeah,
Wise. So
that's what kind
audience
of
score, I'm
sucks.
sure audience score is probably the same, if not more. But as for critic reviews, I don't think Daredevil is probably sitting at 272.
I mean, the thing is, like, I get what you're saying, and I'm not saying this to like this whole like beef between Aiden and I about scores and coping and whatever. I disregard all of that. I just pulled up season 1 of Daredevil, the first season of Daredevil, only got 74 reviews. Season 3 only got 66. I think TV shows just get less. So
Yeah.
not
Fair.
like
Yeah.
I'm not trying to disregard your point, but I don't think it's getting 200 reviews period at any point.
So, which can be good or bad because, like, a movie like Superman, a movie, any movie, like a movie like Thunderbolts, like then you're subjected to a lot of reviews in there.
Yeah.
Whereas, you don't got much, but it is also something to take into consideration for next year's list. But enough about the list.
That can be helpful though, because if you have a movie that barely anybody reviews, then each review matters so much more for the score. Whereas if you have a ton of people, then a negative review doesn't mean as much, doesn't affect it as much.
Yeah.
Also, I know I'm kind of cramping your host game here real quick, Ben, but
it's fine, man. It's fine.
I
get so lonely.
Actually, you know what? Go ahead and transition. I gotta find this first. I want it to be a surprise. Go ahead and transition, and I'll bring it up when I find it.
So transitioning so smoothly into Mickey 17, Aiden has not seen it. Charlie and I have both watched it. I think we'll just have a pretty simple, spoiler-free discussion on it. And I don't, at least in my opinion, it's not really the type of movie where we would have like a huge spoiler discussion on it anyways. I mean, there's a few things, but nothing crazy. So Charlie, while you're looking for that, I'll just give some of my thoughts on the movie. There's so many things about this movie that are just phenomenal. Robert Pattinson, incredible performances, you could say, really, playing multiple versions of the same character, which
all right, I found it, Benjamin.
oh gosh.
We neglected to return to our phase 5 and 6 ranking by anticipation for the Marvel Cinematic Universe after we finished watching Captain America Brave New World, which at this time it was when we made this live stream and did this ranking, it was titled Captain America New World Order. And for you audio listeners, Aiden ranked the film at number 7 on his list, under Blade. Oh my God, Blade. And above Loki season 2. I placed it at number 9 on my list, under Avengers Secret Wars and above Thunderbolts. Wow, I fucking Thunderbolts. I'm way more excited for that than I ever was for Captain America, I feel like now. And Ben ranked it at number 7 on his list as well, just like Aiden did, right below Loki season 2 and above Blade. So you guys put it in the same spot, but then swapped what was above and below. That's funny.
Yeah.
Number 7.
Listen, I'm going to say, I think from the releases we have that my list is pretty good so far.
Yeah, but you need Daredevil to be better than Doomsday and Fantastic Four, and Loki season 2, which I mean, I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. It's on track so far.
I'm not saying it's a perfect list, but Charlie has Quantumania, The Marvels,
yeah.
and Secret Invasion above
Oh my
Secret
God.
Wars,
Oh my
Captain
God,
America,
the
and
Marvels!
Thunderbolt.
Secret Invasion, dude. I thought the Marvels was gonna hit, bro.
Over Secret Wars? What are
Dude,
you doing?
Listen, my logic, dude. We don't know anything about Secret Wars. That was my logic, and that still holds true now. In fact, I know you're on your little concept art train, Aiden. But listen. Okay, we don't know anything about Secret Wars. All right, buddy. We don't. All we know is the fucking name.
Charlie,
right?
you can at least admit that you were terribly wrong about Loki season 2 and Secret Invasion.
Absolutely, dude. Loki
and
season 2 is one of
Quantumania.
my favorite things the MCU's ever put out now.
Yes, thank you,
dude. Look at how high I've been on Fantastic Four since that bitch got announced, bro. Now it's
number 2 for me. Calm down.
Hey, just saying. Damn, dude.
Guardians 3 though at number 1. Guardians 3. What can I say?
I mean, that's definitely correct so far.
Out of everybody's top 5, that's the only film that has come out, and then there's Daredevil, which is airing currently. But that's the only thing out of all of our top 5s, and Quantumania, which is in my.
And this was our 23rd episode. Holy.
Crazy.
Yeah, look at us. Oh my gosh. I don't know. Can you play a quick little snippet of whatever I'm saying right here?
Yeah.
I am more anticipating Secret Wars than I am King Dynasty.
Bro, nah.
No way.
Wait.
Oh my God.
Did I
you
sounded
sounding
like that
That's
2 years
crazy.
ago?
That is crazy.
Hey, wait, keep playing.
But they were all still necessary
you find
building
what
blocks
you-
for storylines to get to Infinity War and Endgame. And in my opinion, Endgame was the biggest payoff to the entire
crazy,
saga.
actually. Just 2 years.
So mine in Endgame just
Damn,
tie to
dude,
each
yeah.
other. But
Why
okay,
I
I
was
think
going to die if somebody. Oh, yeah, I was
First
talking on
film
this
and then
shit.
the second
there we
film.
go.
I didn't love
I
it
sound the
much,
same.
obviously.
You sound the
Because
same.
I don't hate it as much
I
as
sound the
Ben.
same. But I'm
And
older anyway.
And just to get even more news about this film, every single time I
Yeah.
hear Fantastic Four,
Oh,
God, I hate and
this.
the
It's
word
like
news
it's-
attached to it,
You
I'm
like
hooked.
whispering into that,
or
bro.
any of the 4 characters.
Bro,
So I had no
yeah,
type of
more.
on-camera confidence back then, man. All right. Holy.
But yeah,
That's
I
crazy.
wanted to bring up this list because we hadn't revisited it after Brave New World came out. And once Daredevil Born Again is completely done airing, we will revisit it again. But I imagine, with where we all have it placed, looks like in this episode, like most of us will be right. Aiden, number 5.
I mean, I don't know. It might not be better than Guardians 3. Like, we'll have to see about that. So, because right now that's the big kicker difference
Sure.
between where Aiden placed it and where, well, I guess for you and Aiden, I'm the only one who said it would be better.
Yeah.
Wow, what a time.
Wow, that's crazy.
Oh my God.
I can't believe you guys let me like talk to the internet. Sounding like that. That just,
Dude, I'm gonna have to go back and rewatch that whole episode, bro. Like, oh my God.
hey, we need to go back to when we talked about the prequels. That's what we need to go back to.
Oh no.
No, the 20.
Oh.
Do it for the
I
20th
can't.
anniversary of what is
Revenge of the Sith?
Revenge of the Sith, yeah.
Yeah.
We're gonna break down our discussion on Revenge of the Sith. Oh
Yeah.
my God.
That's crazy.
Oh, anyways, Mickey 17. Come on.
Moving back to Mickey 17. So yeah, Robert Pattinson, absolutely incredible. Production design, phenomenal. That was one of the big standouts to me. As well as just like visually, sound design, all of that was just such a high level of execution. Specifically with the production design, I just felt like I was in the world. It was one of those movies where like I just enjoyed watching everything that was happening, and I just like kept wanting to be on that journey with this character. And so I didn't like, I would say for the first like 60 or 70%, I didn't feel the runtime at all. I hardly felt like I was watching a movie. Like I was just there for this journey, and it was just enjoyable to live in that space and watch what was happening. I do think there's a there's a certain point in the movie where it starts to lose its footing a little bit, kind of loses its focus, and falters a little bit. Not that it's anything too terrible, but then it's really just the slower pacing that kind of stands out,
Where
kind of
would you
towards
say
that.
that is? Like, if you can say it without spoilers.
You said when?
Yeah. When would you say that is in the movie for you?
I would say, I don't know if I don't know if this is considered a spoiler. I don't know what Aiden. You're muted. Are you saying you're
good. Go for it.
okay? So when we have 17 and 18, which like at first is like everything's great with that good dynamic that they're introducing. I don't know if there was an exact moment, but like a little bit after we had both of them is when I feel like the pacing started to get a little bit weird. I do think that it got a little bit better than that, but in my opinion, the best part of the movie was that first like 60-70% or so of the film. All of that, like learning about the character, the journey that he's on, going through the different situations that he's in because of his occupation, all of that was like the best part of the movie. And then I thought that they were going to focus more on like the core concept of the value of life, basically was going to be kind of what they honed in on as like the emotional payoff. And I feel like at some point they kind of lost that a little bit, and then they tried to do it, but using other characters, I guess is a way to put it without exactly saying what's happening.
Sure.
In a more like kind of political way, they tried to still push that message when I feel like that didn't reflect well with Mickey, which it could have and it should have. And I think they had the setup to do that, to have him almost be a reflection of other things that happen in the film. But I don't think they properly like paid that off. I still really enjoyed it. Thoroughly I thought it was great. It's my favorite movie of the year so far. And a lot of that is just because it's firing on all cylinders, just with the production, the sound, and Robert Pattinson absolutely carrying the movie. I mean, he has like his co-star, which I'm not sure. Do you know the actress's name? Do you know that? Okay. She also was great as well, and all of the supporting cast, I think, did a very good job. So
Even Yun.
everything's just firing on all cylinders. It really was just, it lost its footing and then it tried to recover, and so it didn't fully land. So I still would give it like an 8 out of 10 for me, best movie of the year so far. But it definitely had the potential to take it even further if it could have corrected some of those mistakes.
Yeah.
You know what? I'll just say no thoughts on the movie, but like despite what the Rotten Tomatoes says and despite whatever the fuck my list says, I'm happy that there's a movie on there that the overall consensus is that it's a good movie, you know? And I've even seen a lot of people talk about how it's amazing, phenomenal, great. Other people that are like, thought it was good, 7 out of 10. Regardless of I'm regardless of the Rotten Tomatoes, I'm glad that I have a really good movie on my list, because if we were to ever go back and look at the list at the end of the year or a couple years from now, and it's like, damn, I had a bunch of bangers, we're not going to think twice about what the Rotten Tomatoes said. It's just going to be like, holy shit, I had Invincible season 3 on there. That was like, you know, like stuff like that. So fine with that. I'm glad Ben gave it an 8 out of 10. I like that.
I don't think you'll be upset at all with the movie, Aiden. I think you'll like it quite a bit. And it has a 3.7 on Letterboxd, so
beautiful.
It's getting good reviews, definitely. But I will say that I can understand why, on a large enough scale of just like general audience members going to see this movie, why some people would be turned away from it.
Fair.
Yeah, I probably just off the bat, I'd probably give it like a 7.5 out of 10. Robert Pattinson, obviously, as Benjamin said, I do want to highlight Mark Ruffalo. I feel like he's been getting a lot of hate for the role from certain aspects. Yeah, on Twitter, a lot of people are talking down on him, even some on TikTok. I thought he did a fantastic job. One of the most different roles I think I've ever seen Mark Ruffalo in, and I think he killed it, truthfully.
Mhm.
And I forget his wife, the name,
Tony Collette.
Toni Collette. She was also fantastic,
Yeah.
as she was in Hereditary and stuff like that. But I find myself like my issues came with like I feel like there was like not so random there, although there were some random plot lines within the film that I just felt were unnecessary or didn't need to be there, and I do think it kind of muddied the pacing up a bit. Um, there's one specifically about like, and I won't. This isn't. I'll do as vague as possible, but like the whole reason that Mickey even signs up for this program and like how that comes back later in the film, I thought was an unnecessary thing. I think it was great for it adding screen time for certain characters in that respect, but other than that, it didn't really serve a purpose. They were still in the same spot that they were in before, and yada yada yada. Then there's this weird sequence towards like the very end of the movie, which it just seemed like a weird placement for it, and maybe it wouldn't have seemed so much if there were other sequences like it throughout the film, and it kind of just it seemed like it was just out of nowhere, and I guess it helped with the narration from Mickey and whatnot. But that's just being as vague as possible with my my little complaints. I was very invested in like the entire first half. I thought it was the world building and the explanation of it all. The exposition was great. I was not taken out of it whatsoever. And even the really creative things they do with like the it's not a spoiler that they go to alien planets with the alien planet and whatnot they do. I really thoroughly did enjoy that as well. And I also it's really hard to do without spoilers because I want to talk about certain like very certain things, but there's one moment in like the very end of the climax. Well, no, it's not. I just don't know. I don't want to talk about it for spoilers for the audience as well, to a certain degree. But towards like the end of the climax and where a big boom happens and then like tears are shed, and I don't quite get why there are tears shed there myself. If you pick up what I'm putting down, Ben.
Yeah.
But I don't know. That's a small thing. That's more of a CinemaSins thing. That's not like a serious knock on the movie. But I did think it went to very cool and unique places with the alien planet stuff specifically. That was a big highlight for me as well. It was a sort of different take, I guess, because like you expect one thing from this, and they throw it on your head almost, and I enjoyed that. So overall, I think there were a lot of cool choices in this movie, and it kind of just there were just little things that I didn't it didn't take me out of it, but it was just kind of like, okay, like let's move on. I'd rather see something else, or like certain scenes dragged on too long. Like for me, dinner, like I'll say that, Ben, like the dinner scene was a little bit long for me. But other than that, I really thoroughly enjoyed the movie. I think I agree with the sentiment also. Favorite movie of the year so far. But I expect Sinners to come in and be the difference there.
People have really been liking Novocaine.
Really?
Yeah.
I'm seeing it tomorrow.
It's getting great reviews. I think it's 80 something on Rotten Tomatoes. I don't think there's
Novocaine more than Mickey. You don't like it more than Mickey? You don't like Novocaine more than Mickey?
No, I would still put Companion over Novocaine as well, personally. So
really?
I'll be curious to hear your thoughts on it. But I've heard just people in general, lots of very, very positive reviews on it. Just the only thing that I'll add to what you said is with the whole like unnecessary storylines, I think at face value, I agree that there are some things where it's like, well, we didn't really like need all of this to explain why we're here. We don't like it. It feels like it takes away from the story. At face value, I agree with that. But then part of me wonders, this is based off of a book. And so I don't know how faithful of an adaptation that they were going for with this story.
Sure.
And that's not in defense of the movie, because I do think that when you're adapting a book to the screen, that you have to take certain creative freedoms while being as faithful as possible. So if something just like doesn't work out in a script or in a screenplay for a film, then yeah, maybe you need to rework it and adjust it so that it fits better in movie format. But it is something that I thought a couple of times of like, I wonder how true all of this is to the book, because even the book, like I'm pretty sure the book is Mickey 7, not Mickey 17,
Oh,
which realistically this movie could have been Mickey 7 and could have played out like the exact same way. Like actually you could have done the same thing. And it being 17 versus 7 doesn't actually make a difference.
yeah.
So I don't know if that's a legitimate, like, if there's a reason really for that difference, or I just don't know. But it is something that I always think of when there are these adaptations is, how true are some of these things to the original source material?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mickey 17.
Yeah.
Aiden, go watch
Beautiful.
it. Maybe get out of your damn house. Okay.
Yeah. When are you going, Aiden?
I got a lot of opening shifts this week, so I could finally find time to fit it in my schedule.
Yeah, bro. Cheap Tuesday.
Yeah.
Nah, actually, that's Daredevil.
Yeah.
That's Daredevil night. Take it back.
Oh, wait, no. Because I was going to say, yeah, I think I open Tuesday, but I might close. And if I close, it's going to be so detrimental because then I do have a Clopin one of the days this week, which means I'll get off at 9, be back
Get
up
off
there
at-
at 5:30.
Yeah.
And
You
it
know what a Clopin is? Crazy.
it
I never had to
it
do
is
that.
Tuesday. It is Tuesday, so that's gonna be rough. I probably won't be able to watch Daredevil till the next day. I get off work. That's a bummer. Tuesday I work 12:30 to 9. That's horrible. Whatever. I'll find time. I got, like I said, that Wednesday I get off at 12. So, take a nap. Fiance will be at work. Go catch Mickey 17. So I'll find some time to get it in there for sure.
Yeah.
Especially if y'all liked it.
Yeah. I think you'll like it more than me.
Mm.
Truthfully, I think you'll be closer to Ben on it.
Or more. I think you could be higher on it than me as well. But we'll
Okay,
see.
okay.
Yeah.
Awesome.
So next week, maybe Aiden will have some brief thoughts on Mickey 17, and then Charlie can share some Novocaine thoughts as well.
Yes, sir.
And, yeah. Speaking of Tuesday being Daredevil Day, we received episode 3 of Daredevil Born Again.
Ooh. Let me cook. Shut up.
I was gonna pick you. I'll be honest.
Oh,
I was gonna give it to you.
All right,
so.
I'm going first on Invincible. All right, you're taking Daredevil away from me.
I'm gonna geek out on Invincible too. A little bit of a spoiler for my thoughts, I guess. Golly, man. There's rumor. I want to start off with. Apparently, there's rumors that this was going to be originally the second episode of the show, and episode 2 before the creative overhaul, and episode 2 was going to be the first episode. And like, admittedly, I would not have enjoyed that in a sequence of events, and I'm glad that they reworked it. But I mean, if it had stayed that way, I don't think that this is a bad episode by any means. I would not be leaving episode 2 being like, damn, that shit was kind of like this shit. Oh my God, man. Like, I'm gonna try to say it, like, without spoiling it, just like we did for Mickey 17. But Charlie Cox still as good as ever in a courtroom, especially, and like seeing the more cocky side of Matt too in this episode. Oh my God, the best cure for a black guy. Oh shit, that shit is so good. But the entire episode, pretty much, with the exception of like a couple Fisk scenes, was like courtroom stuff, and it was so well done. And my very first thought, not to shit on a show that already gets so much shit, but I was like, dude, this is the kind of shit that She-Hulk needed. And I know She-Hulk had a couple of like superhero trials. Like they had the guy who makes the outfits, the episode that Daredevil was in, actually. And actually that might have been the only, like, obviously there were little snippets of like where the main villain, the one girl, was on trial at the beginning of the show, and then there were a couple of other things, but like there was never like a full like dedication to the idea, it felt like. And
Yeah.
this was that, and I think that was so, it was so well done. And the fact that they're not afraid of shying away, and people said this about episode 2 also, they're not afraid to shy away from like the actual like absurdity of it all in this world, like openly talking about how he didn't have his amulet on him, and how he wasn't able to do these fantastical things, and everybody just accepts that because that's the world that they're in. I love that. It's the little things like that. There's very certain things I want to talk about eventually when we do get to spoilers that I'll steer away from right now. But I mean, even getting to the end of the episode, oh my god, I did not see that. I knew that they were gonna have to do something with that character, but I didn't think that they were gonna do that right off. I thought we were going to get more of them, and for that to be the way that it happens, man, oh my gosh, dude, like I can't go, dude. And then the credits, bro. The credits being the frog. Oh my god, dude, it's so damn good. And I also love that. This isn't a spoiler, but when he's sitting on when he's sitting on the stand, the white tiger guy, and after he's revealed the thing, and he's like, "Why did you do this? It was the right thing to do. Why did you do that? It was the right thing to do. Why did you do that? It was the right thing to do." Dude, oh my god, turn me up, man. This shit was so, holy fuck, man. And then they still managed to find like the heartbreaking heart within it with certain little scenes that I can't touch on because I don't want to know what spoilers yet. But somebody else take it away. Like I from now on I need to talk about spoilers, truthfully. So
I'll take it away. Yeah, man. The commitment to just say we don't need action scenes. We can just put Matt Murdock in a courtroom for a whole episode and you're going to love it. That's like, oh, the fact that they know that they can rely on it and that they can do it well is just so, like, I'm so happy, which is what I said last week as well when we talked about the show, that I'm just very pleased that this truly just feels like a season 4. And so seeing a full-on courtroom episode just proves that even more, that they really locked in and know what they're doing. And it just felt very real and grounded for the situation. But even you felt like the stakes. Like I grew up doing speech and debate, so I'm used to argumentation and whatnot. And I have to say that even after Matt Murdock got up there and was defending Hector and did it incredibly well, the other team's closing argument was still like phenomenal in the realm of, just a good argument to get this guy locked up forever and get him convicted of murder. Like, even at that point, I'm like, dang, that's pretty good, actually. Like, that's pretty good. Which just goes to show how well written of a scene that was, that you can feel that back and forth, and it feels like a real courtroom situation that would happen, and it feels like real forces that are going against each other. So absolutely love that aspect of it. And then Charlie, you're influencing me now to just think about all the things that I want to talk about. I can't. Aiden, just finish it, please.
All right, I'll keep it short and sweet. I think this is hands down by far the best episode of the season so far. I thought it was perfect, man. Genuinely perfect. One thing I love so much about the Netflix Daredevil, and I say this throughout all 3 episodes of my reactions to the show, I say it so much, I reiterate it in every single video. The thing I love the most the thing I love the most about this show is that they don't need action. Like those moments, and the first time I said this season was when Karen and Matt were just sitting down talking, hashing things out. This show, the heart and soul of this show is those moments where these characters are just sitting down talking to each other. And to see that same writing carry over after 7 years, dude, under a whole different staff, under a whole different production team, probably not whole different, but you get what I mean. In a different universe, they are still keeping up that quality. They gave us an entire courtroom drama. The only time we flashed away, aside from after the courtroom stuff was over, was to show how the cops were trying to kill the person that was testifying on his way there. That's the only time. And all that did was build even more tension for the courtroom drama. It reminds me of Chicanery, the episode in Better Call Saul, where that time we cut away is whenever Huel's bumping into somebody to get the battery out of someone's pocket to plant it into Chuck's pocket. And everything about this episode was great. I loved it so much. The moments I also love that we've sprinkled throughout the beginning of the season, which I unfortunately know, I think, when he suits up again. So that's kind of a bummer. I also know when Punisher shows up, that's a bummer. But to sprinkle so far throughout the season, these conversations, even, and I say this in my reaction video, but even moments where he's just sitting talking to White Tiger, and White Tiger's like, this, like, I put this suit on because, like, it's a part of me. Like, if no one else is going to do it, I'm going to do it. I can't just walk away. I can't just let it go. And he's telling that to someone who has let it go and who has been feeling guilt about that. And the look on Charlie Cox's face every single time that stuff happens, it kind of plays as like, holy shit, everything seems like a sign. Every conversation I have, every conversation I overhear, it just adds like, oh, fuck, there is that thing there that's weighing me down that you just brought up. And now I'm thinking about it again. And I love that so much. That does so much for his character arc this season. And it starts him off in a beautiful place. You kill Foggy, you have that time jump, you have him go through all this stuff. So then that moment where he does put the suit back on, and that reason why he puts that suit back on just hits even harder, because all of those signs, all of those conversations, all of those coincidences finally add up to where he's like, what am I doing? I have to go back and do this, because look at all this stuff that's because of me. And so, yeah, I love that so much so far about these 3 episodes, is that internal battle that Matt has to face in just a simple everyday conversation, and everything about that fucking courtroom stuff. And obviously the ending. I think this was the best episode of the show by far. And that's crazy, because I told Brandon, I was like, I could see episode 3 or 4 kind of being, and then I sat down and watched it, and I was like, my fucking God, man, if this is a low point in the season, like if this is where we like take our break into the next arc, what the fuck? Like, phenomenal, dude. Good shit.
So from now on, we're going to be diving into spoilers. If you have not seen the episode, thank you so much for listening this far. We appreciate you. First things first. Actually, you know what? First things first, before that, I do want to bring this up because I saw this from many other people, and I'm beginning to think that like I was crazy about it. And I do think actually that I was wrong in thinking so, but I want to know what you guys thought. Episode 2 with Fisk and the police chief, or the police chief, I believe. Did you guys read that as him like threatening him like physically, or threatening him with the revealment? That's not a word, but with revealing his hidden child and an affair with this other woman?
I mean, I think from the perspective that we're in, with him being in the position of mayor, I think it was more of an information blackmail type of thing.
Okay.
But obviously, we knowing Kingpin
Yeah.
know that somebody might test him and it might lead to those circumstances. But I don't think inherently that we need to assume that he was like, as mayor, just sitting there physically threatening.
See, that's the thing. I took it like that, but I like it more now that I know that it was just a threat of revealing his secret affair or whatnot.
I think it would be a little silly to present Fisk as like, oh, he's really turned a corner with the public. They view him great. They voted him into office to be mayor, and now he's just openly physically threatening a captain. Like, I think it makes more sense to be more of a blackmail type of thing.
Okay, I did not take it like that. So, but it's good to hear that Aiden sounded like also did take it as
well. Yeah, that's how I took it, and I like what Ben said. How in universe it could just be like, I'm going to expose your secret affair, but because we know Kingpin, it's like, oh, he's starting to get his hands a little dirty, and like you could see whenever he has that conversation, like I'm sitting there yelling at the screen, and I'm like, Fisk, you better not let him talk to you like that. You got to get your hands dirty. And then that next scene, he does it, and I was like, yes, this is the shit I love. And then I was like, I should probably have not egged that on as much as I did, because fuck this guy after what he just fucking, like, what the fuck?
So the next thing that I want to say, back to actually talking about spoilers, dude, whatever that, and maybe I guess I'd still give it to him if like this was the last time that we saw it throughout the entirety of the show. But the dude who said that there were no religious themes for Matt in this season, brother, he literally, that scene when he comes into the courtroom by himself holding the broken thorn from his helmet, that is for a reason. It is shaped exactly like pews in a church, and it's even framed in the camera shot. I think it says something about in God we try, or faith and injustice by God or something like that. I don't know. It was very clearly framed to be just like a church, and Matt is treating it as such because he is not allowing himself to actually go to a church because he's punishing himself. It's so well done, and it's so like, maybe he didn't, the person who wrote that review and watched the whole season or reaction, I guess you could call it, didn't like pick up on it because it's so subtle. But dude, I feel like that is so entirely intentional, and it is so fucking well done. It is so well done. I also what was the other spoiler thing I wanted to talk about? Oh no, I'm blanking now. Whatever, Ben, you go.
Obviously the ending is the biggest thing, which you could just say, it's crazy to go through this whole episode and then for them to just kill off Hector and then for it to be Punisher, which all of us, I mean, we talked about last week. Punisher was going to be pissed at all of these cops who are basically using his symbol for violence. But now Punisher is the one who's killing off the one who was a victim of it. Like, indirectly, it's almost like Punisher is in agreement with the cops and whatnot who are using his symbol. So it'll be interesting to see that dynamic. But what is so amazing about it is that we take the entire episode going through this entire courtroom drama back and forth, all of these really deep conversations. And then when we just kill him off right then and there, it so perfectly reflects what Matt is going through in this show, because he is fighting with everything in him to not go back to the mask, to not suit up again. He wants to do things the right way. He wants justice to be served. And he's trying to prove that to the best of his ability, which is why he took on Hector as a client in the first place. He spends all episode going through all of this stuff to make sure that the verdict is not guilty. And all of that for it to just get shoved right back into his face, that it doesn't matter if you do it the right way. This is a dirty world that we live in, kill him off, boom. And so for Matt, it's like everything that he's fighting for is starting to crumble. And so it's just amazing how well that ties into the arc that he's going on, because I thought the episode, I thought it was great, and I loved it the entire time throughout. But by the end, I reflected on it so differently because of how it's going to tie in to Matt's journey that he's on, and how that's just going to push him even further into realizing that you can't play it clean in a dirty world. It's just not going to work. You have to get your hands dirty. I mean, I just think it's incredible how well they tied that in. And obviously I think we're going to learn more, because, who really had him killed. There's kind of hints that it was Fisk. There's, so is Fisk somehow in cahoots with the Punisher, or how does it tie into some of the corruption within the police force? There's still a lot of questions with it, but those things don't matter as much as just like the Punisher reveals, like, okay, that's cool, that's interesting, I want to know more. But I really just like having this whole episode just to push Matt even further into his realization of what he will eventually need to do is just phenomenal.
I do think it also like it's a highlight of like that converse. Oh, that was the other spoiler thing for me, real quick. I was about to talk about this anyway, but it's a highlight in that conversation with Heather, where he's saying like sometimes the justice system does work. So like he's happy and he's up right now, but I guarantee when he finds out what happened to Hector, like, oh my God, that's gonna be a crushing realization for him. But I wanted that conversation with Heather, man. Oh my God, I teared up, dude. Like, the and to Foggy Nelson, like, oh my God, dude. I thought you were never gonna talk about him, and it's just it's so good, so damn good.
Yeah. Ben, I want to ask you a question. You think that's Punisher at the end of the episode?
Well, I mean, you know what I mean. Like,
oh, okay. Because the way I immediately took it was he's being like there's these like corrupt cops that are literally donning his logo and gear to do this dirty work. And so I didn't know. I was like, oh, I didn't know somebody took it as that was actually Punisher. So I was just curious.
I think that's what the show is trying to allude to. I don't necessarily think it's true, but
Okay.
It's like seeing a brief image of a tattoo on the wrist versus like this is full Punisher gear type of thing.
Yeah.
They clearly set up the vibe differently. Like, because they could have very easily just done a similar thing where he got killed off and then you see a tattoo or something like that. But they the way that they set it up was trying to make you believe that. I don't think that that's necessarily true. Yeah, I think when Punisher does get introduced and whatnot, it will probably be because of all of this corruption within the police force and whatnot, and the killings that are happening using his symbol, and that he'll be on the side of Matt, with a similar kind of dynamic that they had in season 2 of Daredevil, where they both want the same thing, but they go about it in very different ways. I think we'll get a continuation of that. But I'm more so like am taking it a little bit at face value of like, oh, Punisher just killed this guy, but I don't actually think that's necessarily the case.
Okay. I was just checking.
One thing, who knows?
I mean, if it is, that'd be a big plot twist for me. One thing I did want to say that I saw online as a possible way to introduce Frank Castle back into this show, which I think is really cool. Obviously, what the show is telling us is that, look, Punisher just killed Hector Ayala. What I think would be cool is Matt catches wind of this, sees that it was the Punisher logo, and hunts down Frank again. And that's where they meet together, where they're throwing hands and talking shit to each other in the locker, where we'll be introduced to Frank. I liked that way of bringing him in and using this ending as a way to get him into the show. So whether that's episode 4 or the double episode release of 5 and 6 in 1 week, who knows? But I think that's my best bet for how he gets brought into the show.
Why are they doing that double drop? Do we know?
I was actually, and I don't know, and I don't really think this is spoilers, but I was actually just now reading a Variety article where they said that episode 5 is kind of, the way they phrased it was, now while they're still doing the Netflix Daredevil stuff basically, and while they're like writing all these serious tones, it doesn't mean that they can't allow a little fun, which is in episode 5 with like that. Episode 5 is basically like a standalone, but then something happens, and they explain what happens in the episode a little bit, but they start that off and preface it by saying it is a bit of a standalone. So I can assume that they'll drop episode 5, and then that same week they'll be like, okay, here's episode 6 with possibly something big in it, or just moving into the final 3 episodes of the show. That'd be my best guess.
Okay. Huh. Yeah, man. Fantastic episode.
Beautiful.
I'm loving the show so far. That's why
It's
when
so
we were
good.
talking about it earlier, and you said, I think you said, Ben, like it depends on if Daredevil is better than Guardians 3, and like, brother,
Man, it's on pace.
it's
On pace.
It's
I
already
agree. I
close.
agree. I
already
definitely agree with that. I mean, I rewatched Guardians 3 just a couple months back. So I'm more fresh on that movie, which I think is amazing. But this is on pace. I agree with that. Yeah.
We're all on the same page. Look at us.
Yeah, we need more
Must be nice.
conflict, right, Aiden?
Must be nice for
Yeah.
Aiden
We'll
to
see this
That's okay.
next
brain
this
for
next topic.
Yeah, this next
topic.
segment where come on, man. I got a lot of stuff to say about this. Aiden, take us in the Invincible season 3 finale. Restrain from spoilers as much as you can. Just I mean, do we need to actually? I feel like this whole episode is kind of, it's like if you haven't seen it, you should watch
let's
it
get
before.
into it.
At least that's my opinion.
I say let's get into it. But you're the host. You're the host of.
We're
Oh
getting
man,
into
you know
it.
what? I didn't even, there you go. You're the host
I
of
don't
it.
know that I've ever been over here.
That's
Ooh.
yeah. That is now established here on episode 86. That is the host spot for now.
What's the bottom spot then?
Well, I mean, I don't know. Nappy hair.
Ask the guy in the
Nappy
bottom
hair.
spot. What'd you say? What'd you say? Nappy hair? That's crazy.
Oh shit! No, not me. I do have nappy ass hair right now. Anyways, Invincible season finale. So, on the way home today, I decided to listen to Your Man by Joji, right? And I don't know. I love the way that song was used in the season, and I love me some Joji, so I decided to listen to it. And I don't know, the feeling I got was just like, man, this was such a fun season. You know, like from the dumb, stupid memes all over TikTok to everyone debating, oh, the PNG war is next week or whatever. The animation conflicts and whatever, all of the conversation around this show. I hadn't had that since season 1 because I didn't participate last year. So to be able to participate and be a part of that discussion every week and to laugh and just look forward to seeing Invincible memes and just seeing people praise this show, and also just to know, just to be a fan of something, just to be a fan of a franchise that will consistently give you great shit no matter what. I had no doubts in my mind that season 2 would be great when we finished season 1 and we were coming across that after that 3-year wait. No doubts in my mind season 2 would be great. It wouldn't be great. I don't know what I'm trying to say. And it was awesome. Same thing with season 3. It was just like, yeah, I mean, the other 2 seasons had a 99% critic score. Of course, it's gonna get something huge again. Like it's Invincible. Of course it is. And lo and behold, here we are. So I don't know, just to be a fan of a show like this, it doesn't matter how bad or how good you think the animation is. Every single season, they're going to deliver some of the best superhero writing that is out right now. And they have been consistently great with every single season so far. And I have had little to no complaints. I'm also just someone who likes to just enjoy stuff and will just blindly love something. And I feel like Invincible is a perfect show for people like that. Because you can always find something to grasp onto and to gravitate towards in this show. So I was listening to it on the way home and I was like, oh man, it's over. You know, like it sucks, man. We're back to just Thursdays and I gotta focus on this next project or this next movie to look forward to fill that void that, you know, Invincible can't hold anymore. And it's going to be the same thing with Severance and whatnot. But to be back into watching TV shows regularly, watching a lot more projects, and for this to be the first one that I have loved this much and for it to be gone, you know, it's a bittersweet thing because I thought the finale was amazing. I don't think it's the best episode of. I don't think anything would ever be able to top season 1's finale. Let me just put that out there, unless they do something crazy with these final seasons we're gonna get, or these last 4 or 5 seasons we're gonna get. I don't think so far a single episode has passed the season 1 finale. I do think it could maybe go down as the best episode of the season. It's probably a little under the Powerplex episode for me, but god damn, man. Steven Yeun, bro? Are we kidding? The fucking voice acting, dude, brought me to tears multiple times. And I know the joke is that Invincible just gets his ass kicked, but he was not stopping until this dude was dead. Because all season long, he's had to see what happens if he doesn't do it. He's had people in his ear on both sides of the fight as to why he shouldn't. And he was not going to stop. And just his legs broke. Both his arms are broken with the bones coming out. And he's like, I'm still fucking you up, dude. I'm not stopping until I know that you're dead. Is a perfect culmination to this season. Everything we saw Angstrom Levy bring to destroy Earth as a direct consequence of him not killing somebody. And then everything we saw Powerplex give him to struggle with as a consequence of him fighting with his dad and killing tons of people. And all of that being his fault. All of the Invincible War being his fault. All of these themes that we've built up all season, even the filler episodes, all come to a culmination in a 30-minute fight. One of the craziest superhero fights I've ever seen animated. Probably just ever. I mean, holy fuck, the destruction that happened. I thought the animation in that one little pocket, I mean, I tweeted this earlier. If we could get that every episode with better lighting and shadows, I mean, that scene right there was, I was like, this is peak Invincible right here.
Stop.
It's peak Invincible. So yeah, everything about the fight, I won't like eat up all of the concepts that we're all going to talk about. Everything about that fight was amazing. The emotion behind it, behind Mark just being on that brink of losing the entire fight. Like there's very little times where he has the upper hand. He's on the brink of dying that entire fight, but he still keeps going because he knows that if he doesn't, he can lose his family. Earth will be destroyed. This is all on him. All of this weight is on him right now. If he does not kill Conquest right here in this fight with 2 broken arms and a broken leg. I thought it was awesome. It's a perfect way to end off this season, just seeing as what we were, all the themes we explored. And so, yeah, man, I don't have a lot of complaints. What a great show. I am so happy that we are alive during a time where we get to witness Invincible from season 1, episode 1, when it just came out and everyone was talking about watch the show, just wait and stick with it, all the way to now, where we've gotten 3 amazing seasons. It's just, I don't know. I'm just so grateful that I get to jump back to why I love doing this shit in the first place. And it's talking about great superhero content, consistent, great superhero content. I can now get so excited for season 4 of Invincible, whereas a Marvel movie or a DC movie, it's like, yeah, but, so to know that I always have that in my back pocket, I'm happy. I love this show. I love this season. It's awesome, man. It's great.
Charlie?
Yeah, I think this is the best season of the show so far.
Wow.
I'd have to rewatch season 1, but I like, bro.
I think far and away, I think that this season is the best season of the show so far. Like, I talked about it last week, but I love the entire character arc for Mark, and the treating it like a character arc, but also more of like a protagonist and antagonist situation within himself, and his morals. And I think that the culmination of that, I think, was fantastic in this episode. I actually want to talk about negatives first, just to get them out of the way.
Real quick before I forget, sorry.
No,
I was listening to our episode last week, and I would kill myself if I didn't remember to bring this up, because I wanted to when I was listening at work. When you said you felt like they were nerfing Adam Eve this season and that her powers felt a lot, I knew that ending was gonna happen because I got that spoiled for me, and I was like, oh, I can't wait to tell dude, even your gripes are for a reason. Like, okay,
dude,
continue.
Yeah, that made me. I was so incredibly excited to see that, dude. I audibly said, "Fucking finally!" I was like, dude, I'm so fucking glad to see that. But some negatives, just like towards the end, like, holy ham fist, every fucking thing in the like. Here's what you should be excited for going forward. Like, all right, bro, like, calm down. Like, I've never been a fan of how they've handled all this stuff. Some of it's kind of like funny and jokey, like last episode, how one of the Invincibles crash lands into the desert thing we've been seeing since season 1 with that mummy ghost guy, finally a body, and then like he flies away, whatever. Like, that's funny, sure, but like, I've never been a fan of like these little tiny teases to set up more and more. It kind of like, I don't know. It just seems like it's always just been thrown in and not like a dedicated doing it for a specific reason. And so to just throw so much of that in here at the end, I thought was a little but really, I think that that's the extent of my negatives with this episode. The fight, you could probably make the argument that the fight goes on for a really long time, and there's a lot of just like back and forth thing, like if you're not a fan of that sort of thing. But that's the thing, like, I loved every second of it. Like, I was in this shit, bro. I can't. I mean, I want to harken back to what Aiden said about Steven Yeun, however you say it, whichever one. But dude, oh my, I was actually like almost blubber crying, bro. Like, it was so damn good, because the Eve thing threw me for a loop, because I was like, hold on, I thought she's in this shit. I thought she's in this shit later on. And so I was like, wait, what the fuck? There's no way. And I was like, are they like deviating that far from the comics? But I don't know if, I guess that happened in the comics as well. But dude, that was insane. And to have him flying over top, if you have anything left to say, now's the time to say it. I don't think that much, dude. And I know Ben was joking. I think he said it either before we were recording. Dude, I hope everybody who said that shit about Jeffrey Dean Morgan eats their fucking heart out, dude. That shit was so, dude. I talked about it before we started recording, but that moment when he's over top of Mark choking him, I'm so lonely. Every Viltrumite no Viltrumite wants to be friends with me. I'm a victim of my own success.
Oh
Jeffrey
my
D. Morgan
God, I just
delivered
got
that whole
chills.
fucking thing fantastically, man. I have not felt like this watching something since I guess a year ago with X-Men 97, bro. X-Men 97 episode 5. Got Ben, I'm telling you, bro.
Oh
you gotta
my
make some
God.
time. You got to make some time for that. But dude, I have not felt like this since that. And it's just, and I would say that this is even probably a little bit higher than that one for the feelings that I felt with combining with what we talked about with Eve a little bit. Dude, that was so fucking cool. And even I not even touching on, I was thinking of just when she was fighting Conquest. I love how she changed the density of the air around him. Like that was fucking fantastic. And then to see her, how she resurrects and what her power, like her true power is capable of. I don't know what that's teasing also, by the way, when they get back to his house after Rex's funeral and like his clothes are like melting with like her pink magic or whatever. Don't know what that's teasing, but I'm super interested I don't even want to look into it because now I think I said this last week as well. Like beyond this point, I know of like the Anissa thing. I know that happens. I know about a certain, I'm not going to say, don't worry, Ben. I'm not going to say, I'm just going to be very broad with like, I know about the Anissa thing and I know about like I know about like Thrag and whatnot. I know about a select few things. And so I really just want to like absorb it all from now on. I think I might go back and like read up to this point. Cause like, I want to see, I want to see the difference, but oh my gosh, man. I'm gushing. Oh, and then the callback to season 1 as well. I don't think it hit as hard as like because like seeing it for the first time, like using Mark's body to kill all these people. But I mean, I definitely think they stepped it up from that. Like he's just plowing through miles of people. But I don't know. I think the train one is still just like, that's insane to me.
Charlie,
What?
I can see the future and you don't live to see tomorrow.
tomorrow.
Do you remember when I told you that quote before the season started? And I was like, yeah, there's a quote I've been seeing going around where he's like beaten up and he says, I can see the future and you don't live to see tomorrow. And you were like, oh shit, dude, let's go. That sounds sick. And I completely forgot until I was like, oh my God, here it is.
That's so fucking fantastic, man. Oh my God. And the way he does it too, man. Another testament to Steven Yeun just slamming his head down. Is this still funny? You still having fun? And oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God.
One little like whenever I'll do it on camera here. But whenever he picks his head up and it's a quick shot like this and his eye is like open and there's blood everywhere, it's like a quick second.
Yeah.
He looks demonic. He looks deranged, dude. This is a man that's has nothing to lose if he kills you right here. And I just love that little bit with Cecil at the end where he's like, is he dead? And he's like, yeah. And he's like, burn the body. Takes off. Like, oh my God.
Dude. Speaking of which, that's the Cecil thing is the one thing I will retract from the end of the episode. I think that was a fitting thing to have in there, as in terms of like dedicated, because like that's what happened in the episode prior, not prior, but everything we watched in that episode. And like, here's where I'm like I was with Cecil, but here's where I'm back. Like that is. No, bro. Like, what are you doing? Like, that's fucking.
I mean,
waiting for him to heal up and then trying to get info about the Viltrum Empire. Like, that's. I don't know.
I mean, can you blame him? Not only did he have all of these marks infiltrate Earth after he was already worried about everything that happened with Omni-Man, but then another Viltrumite comes up and is the strongest of them all. And not only that, in season 2, another Viltrumite has come to Earth to threaten it. And they have all shown that they are on Omni-Man's level or higher. Who knows?
Yeah.
Cecil has no idea. So it's like, is it the smartest thing to keep him alive? Probably not. But can I blame him? Probably not. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I think that this is gonna like when Mark finds out like this, it's. I think that's wraps. I think that's wraps for Cecil.
Yeah.
Truthfully, especially with where Mark is now. I don't know. Like at the end where he said, like, if anybody threatens my family or my loved ones again, I will kill them without hesitation. I think is what or I don't know if he said without hesitation, but anyway, there was one more thing. Oh, when Conquest lying about Nolan being dead, saying they executed him right before I left. And like, dude, now Mark thinks that Nolan's dead, and I imagine there's going to be like a little moment there with that.
That reunion.
Yeah, man. I imagine it's gonna hit, man. It's gonna hit. I'm so fucking excited. I hope that they can stick to. I know animation wise, I'd love it to look better, and I do think a multi-billion-dollar company like Amazon, it should look better. Don't get me wrong. But I sincerely want another season next year.
We got impact frames. I mean,
dude, yeah,
we got impact frames.
There's a lot.
Let's go. Let's go.
This shit was fire, bro. The last 2 episodes, they were in their bag with the animation, I think.
Yeah,
dude, this stretch, this might be the greatest 3-episode stretch Invincible has ever gone on.
Yeah,
holy fuck, man!
Invincible War and Conquest, insane.
Oh, this season's so good, dude.
That's
what are we talking about,
you, bro? Season 3, bro. I think we're all just. I think we need to take off the Omni-Man fucking rose-colored glasses blinders shit. Season 3 is the best. Season 3 is the best.
I won't argue with you there, Mr. Ben.
I'll start with my critiques as well. I agree with the whole like end of the episode showing everything. Some of it was just unnecessary, like Battle Beast. Yeah, Damien Darkblood felt like a return for him, but then also setting up a potential future villain is what it felt like.
Whoever they're talking,
yeah. Which I mean, I've said this before that I am not always the biggest fan of. Oh, here's the next thing that we're gonna fight next season or next episode. That it's just a little repetitive at some point. More than that, like the Battle Beast little section was very unnecessary. Like we know that he's alive, we know that he survived, and I like this is one of the few things I know from the comics is that like he is genuinely one of the strongest characters in all of the comics, and he's around for a while, and he does some damage, which is kind of what we've seen. He just kind of rocks up and knocks some people out.
Yeah, I do know about Battle Beast in a fight with somebody. I know who the somebody is. I'm just not saying the somebody.
I think I know who the somebody. Yeah.
So I know he'll be around, but even if he will, why do we need to dedicate a 30-second to a minute scene showing him being rescued in space? So I agree with that. My bigger issue with the episode, because I love everything that you guys love. I'm 100% there. I think it's incredible. This is way better than season 2 in my opinion. I still would be on the fence about between this and season 1. I think after our conversation last week, I definitely embraced more of the journey that Mark is on being the core of the story. So I was definitely able to look past that. And I can't lie that there were some hints of like wishing that Conquest was a little bit more established going into it, just to heighten that a little more. But that didn't take away too much. That was more just wishful thinking. Anyways, I agree with everything that you guys are saying. My biggest thing and issue with it is the entire journey, or at least like the biggest part of the journey that Mark went on and how it kind of climaxed towards the end of this season was him learning that Angstrom was still alive and then watching that destruction happen because he didn't make sure that Angstrom was dead. And this episode, we see him finally say, you know what? I'm willing to kill this person. No. And then not see it to fruition that this person is dead. And so if Conquest comes back and is just going to cause a bunch of destruction again. It's just the same thing that happened with Angstrom, and Mark didn't truly learn his lesson. And like, I know his intention was to kill Conquest, but I'm just saying, him laying there on the ground or even seeing him in the body bag, I don't understand how Mark could walk out of the room and trust Cecil. Yeah, burn the body. No,
Yeah.
no, you are
Especially after the
destroying
season,
that yourself.
Yeah, after we saw how the relationship cracked through their trust has
Yeah.
cracked. I agree. I 100%
So
agree.
like, when that inevitably goes wrong in the future, it's almost like Mark is backtracking on the progress that he made to get to this point in the season. So that to me is like, and not to say that I know exactly how none of us know exactly how that dynamic will play out in the future. But if Conquest is just still alive, then did we really accomplish the goal here? Like, yeah, Mark is on board with, if somebody is causing destruction or harming anybody who I love or my family, I will kill them. Like, he's definitely fully there.
Yeah.
But to fight a powerful being and then possibly make the same mistake again after it caused you so much devastation, literally the episode prior, literally like back to back. Like, we just finished with Angstrom and then Conquest pulls up. Angstrom got away barely. He wanted to kill Angstrom. And so to not like fully see it through with Conquest was like that was the only thing that caused me to hesitate a little bit on how I felt about just like a complete arc to end off the season. Was like, maybe they're following the comics and Conquest has to come back for whatever reason. But I think it makes more sense, given what we've learned this season, that Conquest should fully be dead and he should be gone, because that's the whole journey he was on. So that's like the big thing that kind of stood out to me. But otherwise, phenomenal episode. I mean, I would just repeat everything that you guys said about it. I don't really have any other unique thoughts to add. Phenomenal episode. I do think the last couple episodes really brought back the season for me as a whole. I think I'd look back on it more fondly with a bit of a different perspective. And I mean, since we don't know when we're getting season 4, I think I saw today that it got greenlit, but it might be a while, so I might rewatch through the 3 seasons at some point. Just get a refresher and see how I feel about the whole show.
Yeah.
But yeah, very good finale. Absolutely phenomenal. And like Aiden said, just kind of more big picture with all of these shows coming out. It is crazy that we are currently in a time where we're watching a peak Daredevil show, peak Invincible show, and then Severance all at the same time. Is like, I don't know that there will ever be a time like this again, where you have 3 incredible shows overlapping on the same, like within the same week, you're getting 3 new episodes for those shows. That is insane. And it's like, it's so awesome. Like, I'm very glad that I started just like really staying on top of shows and attacking them harder, which, I mean, X-Men 97, I'm going to get to it. I promise I'll get to it. And there's plenty of others that I want to catch up on and be ready for as well. But yeah, it's really cool to be a part of that, because it is such a different experience than like a movie that I'm excited for. Because a movie is like, it gets announced, you're excited for a couple of years, trailer comes out, you're excited, and it's all this build up to sit down for 2.5 hours to watch it, and that's it. And this is like, you get an announcement, you get a trailer, and then you get to live in it for like 2 months, which is like such a different experience to just get little bits and pieces of a story and get to enjoy it on a consistent basis. And the discussion that it drives versus like when a movie's done, sure, if it's a part of a series, like you can talk about the big picture of the franchise, but for the most part, one-off movies, you watch it once, you talk about it once, and then that's it. It's just a single experience, whereas this gets broken up. We get to talk about the journey as it's happening. So I think that's a really cool difference that I haven't really got to experience outside of like a little bit with some of the earlier Marvel shows when people were still really big into like watching and theorizing as WandaVision was coming out and stuff like that.
Bro's coming around on television, bro. He's coming around.
It's true.
Hey,
It's true.
I tell you what, since I got these opening shifts and caught up on everything, I mean, I often find myself up at night being like, what show should I start? Like just to watch something. But I've always loved TV for that reason. I will say there are going to be conversations in the future of kids our age that we are right now, or just people, maybe let's say like 5 years in the future, being like, bro, you like Invincible and Daredevil, even the Disney Plus Daredevil, some of the greatest superhero shows of all time. You have to watch that. And then other people being like, if everything goes well with Severance, Severance is like a top 5 greatest show of all time, dude. Like the stuff they're doing on there, you have to binge that. Like you have to watch that show. It's so good. Talking about it in the levels of like Breaking Bad, Better Call Saul, The Wire, stuff like that, The Sopranos. Severance is up there, bro. And we're getting this week and this week and last week, we got all 3 live in the same week. Like it's just crazy. 2 of the best superhero shows of all time and a show that could go down as a top 5 greatest TV show of all time. And we've gotten them all in the same week. It's what a time to be alive.
Grateful.
Yeah.
One last thing I want to say about this episode was like the scene of Conquest slowly ripping Oliver in half. First you feel it in the muscles and they start to tear, and then if you can fight through the pain, you start to feel your skin. Like, oh my God, man. That was the tears dripping down onto his face too. What a touch. That is.
I don't get the hate for Oliver. Like I see a whole bunch of people like that, but it's the same like, oh, annoying kid trope. I hate it. But it's like, dude, genuinely, Oliver has been one of my favorite parts of this entire show, dude. I love the character of Oliver and everything that he stands for as a contrast to Mark. I think it's beautiful. And his voice actor does such a great job voicing him. It's like I just see I can see that voice for Oliver.
Yeah.
So
I don't get the hate for it. Like
me either.
I'm not like a huge fan. I think they started to have like themes that I liked, which I think we talked about in our earlier discussions of the season, just about how they brought him in and him bringing up the idea of, you know, what if Dad was right? What if it is okay to kill? Which I think, you know, it started to push Mark a little bit. And there are plenty of moments, even just a couple episodes ago, where they tie into that. So I like some of what he's introduced. But I also like they haven't focused on him too much for him to be an annoyance, in my opinion.
Yeah.
So it's been a good implementation.
Yeah, I mean, I think that it stems from like the first like 2 episodes or maybe 3 of him like being a little whiny and like wanting to go out and do his own thing and yada yada yada. But overall, I feel like he has always wanted to go out and help, and just like how Mark did in season 1 a lot, you know. And so I think they just find it annoying. I feel like there's a stigma against like little kids in media. I will say that as well. Like
it's the same thing with
no matter
Ellie.
if it's like gaming. Yeah, exactly. Like Ellie, people found Ellie annoying at times. God of War games, Atreus, or the first God of War game, they find Atreus to be annoying. It's just, and now Oliver. It's just a kind of like I think it just comes with the territory at this point, and like I don't think it's never like a true criticism. Truthfully, I think it's just it's born of like just little kids are annoying, especially in that whiny age of theirs. But yeah, I think he's fine.
Great show, man. Great season. I'm happy that when I hear the word Invincible coming this month or this year, I can be like, yeah, I mean, that's gonna smack. It's gonna be phenomenal. It'll probably be the first. I mean, I'd be surprised if it wasn't like first, second, like one of the first picks for next year's draft if it gets announced to come out. That or like the Odyssey or something. I'm already thinking about next year's draft, bro. Come on now.
I will say also, I'm a little worried that I hope, and I again don't know anything about the comics, but I hope that like we haven't seen the peaks of the comics already. Like I hope that there's a lot left that is still like up to this level of cool.
I know of one arc that they do that is regarded as having the best villain in the entire comic run.
Really?
Yeah. And
Okay.
that's the second to last arc. So if we're doing it by seasons, that'd be the second to last season.
Damn. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm happy then.
That's all I'll say. That's all I'll say.
Yeah,
I've already given away too much.
I know some people who have like read the entire comic run and now have been watching the show, and anybody who I've talked to, they've never discussed like the storyline in the comics getting worse. I've actually heard praise that like towards the end they end it incredibly well.
They do. I know how it ends. I know the exact words that are used. And oh my god. If like when that gets animated, to contrast it to things we've seen, dude, that shit is gonna hit like crack, bro. I wish I can just say it here, but I won't do that.
Yeah, so I've only heard good things. I don't think we have anything to worry about moving forward. If anything, we can look forward to the fact that as it's gaining more popularity, hopefully some of the animation continues to improve, and even just the timeliness of release. Like we got this basically a year after the second part of season 2 dropped, like a year ago. So if they can pump this out in a year, great. I'd wait 2 years if they wanted to make the animation a couple steps up. Like if we just knew we were getting something of even higher quality, then I'd wait every 2 years. So I think we should only have excitement looking towards season 4.
Yeah.
I'm gonna miss the memes. I'm gonna miss the memes.
Yeah,
they
I'm
were
gonna miss
great.
the memes. I'm gonna miss the edits. I mean, I'm sure there'll be some edits
All right.
still popping up and whatnot. But
R.I.P. Rex. That's all I have to say.
yeah.
Long live Rex, though.
Yeah. Now long live Rex.
Yeah.
Nothing like his ex-girlfriend crying at his funeral and then 10 seconds later going and having sex with her new boyfriend.
I thought it was so funny. She was like, "Why are you smiling?" I was like, "Oh, no way!" And then he's just like, "Oh, I'm just so happy I have you." That boy's like, "Let's get off that topic real quick. Come on now.
Yeah, stop talking about Rex. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm just so happy I can see you and we're alive. Come on, let's go back to me."
Like when she was like, "He was my first everything."
Like, hold up. Why are you talking about him so much?
Yeah. Why are you crying, huh?
His damn funeral.
Somebody did say, oh my gosh, I can't remember it. I think it was something along the lines of like, dang, he really went and cracked Eve right after the funeral. And someone was like, Rex would be proud though. Like Rex would be proud. He'd be smiling. I was like, oh my god, I miss him, man. I keep getting the edits and like, I don't know, like I just feel, oh my god, like I just keep hearing like him say like I don't even have a name. Like this is all I know. I can't just leave. And then him talking to Shrink Ray and just being like, for the first time in my life, I'm actually in a good spot. Fuck, man, I've rewatched that death scene countless times. The part that gets me every single time is when she pulls up and just the way the tone of her voice where she's like, oh god, it's like, oh man, it's great. And of course they had to, last thing, and then we can outro this out. My fiance is a huge fan of Billie Eilish, obsessed with Billie Eilish. She loves her. And so I told you I had sat her down through all of the like songs in the show and like just spouted out, right?
Yeah.
So then that moment happened. So I was like, okay, look. And she doesn't like action or superhero stuff. It's just like not her, it's just not her thing. But I sat her down, I was like, look, I have to show you because I've showed you 2 other instances of great music. I have to show you this one. And so I just explained the character of Rex. I gave her context and I was like, okay, watch the scene. And the death scene happens and the music comes in and she turns to me and she was like, that was so fucking sick. Oh my God. And she was just like in a trance. And I don't like, y'all won't understand this, but for her to say that about Invincible blows my fucking mind. That's how good that moment is that she said that was so fucking sick. So I think that was by far my favorite moment of the entire season. Great show.
Yeah.
I
Just
can't wait for
incredible.
Season 4, man. Can't wait.
Yeah.
First on
You
my
know-
list next year.
Ooh.
Yeah.
You ain't getting that for me, buddy. That wheel is picking me, and you know it. I'm getting that first round pick.
It is sad that this season is over. I'm still very happy that we have Daredevil going on, and then Last of Us and Andor coming up literally next month. So we're still like in the middle of this peak season of television. That's all very, very exciting. So it's only going to continue from here, and that's very exciting, especially for us. As we're talking about it on a week-to-week basis, it's cool that we have all of these things that we're excited for. I mean, it'll be interesting. Like, I'll be watching Andor, but I don't know if either of you will at all.
I will.
I need to watch season 1 still. So
Are you actually planning to?
Yeah.
I do think that I think you can watch Andor just as its own thing without being like
Watching
super
Rogue One.
involved in general. Because it's
Rogue One's the only thing I would need to watch, right?
Rogue One happens after the show.
Oh, okay.
It's like the 2 seasons of Andor lead into
Rogue One,
basically.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, this is a prequel to that, but like Rogue One is a great movie. So if you watch the show, then you should watch Rogue One as well, which you could also watch as its own thing. Definitely, you could watch as its own thing. And I mean, I think that's the best movie that Disney did, like by far.
Oh yeah, 1,000%.
Yeah,
I'm gonna tackle Andor now that Invincible's over and Severance is rounding out. I'm gonna tackle Andor before it comes out. And then I thought there was something else I was gonna say, but I guess not. Yeah, great time to be alive. Great time to be here. And we will be here talking about all of this stuff every week, baby. Summer is going to be very fun as well. It's going to be a fucking blast, dude.
Oh, we didn't really talk about. I don't want to drag this out. I know we keep saying we're going to end it here in a second, but The Last of Us season 2 trailer, we didn't really talk about it, but very excited. I mean, still, like that's all I can really say. One little problem. I don't know if did you guys watch the trailer anyway?
I didn't.
Oh, okay.
No.
Then I won't. It doesn't matter then. If you guys didn't watch it, you won't have a touchstone for what I was going to say. So it doesn't matter.
I probably won't. I was going to make a reaction video to it, but I was like, I feel like that first one was so special. There's no need to make another video to it. And also, I didn't see too many people talking and raving about it. So I was like, maybe this.
That was what shocked me too. Like there was like no conversation about it on Twitter.
Yeah. But they are also dropping this
TikTok.
Yeah, like Invincible, Severance, like all of these shows going on right now, and maybe even some movies. It's just been like it's hard to fit good stuff in at a good time, unless you're Invincible and you just sweep meme culture and the younger audience by its feet, or even like Severance. It's hard because even Daredevil, man, like I used to post TikTok reactions, semi just text videos back whenever it was popping, and they'd go crazy. I mean, like they'd blow up. And like obviously I'm posting on an account that has 200-300 followers and has like 7 videos posted. But I still I don't see any Daredevil reactions. I don't see too many people talking about it other than the controversial back and forth on Twitter, and that's it. It's all been Severance and Invincible. So, yeah, we'll see.
Yeah, I haven't seen either of the trailers for The Last of Us season 2. I don't. There's not a particular reason why, but I guess there's also not a reason why I need to watch the trailer. Like I'm already sold to watch the season.
Yeah,
So
I think that's actually good. I think that
Yeah.
that's good. You're going into that without any knowledge.
I mean I've seen a couple of, I think, still images, and I know there's been like official images now of some characters that I assume are pretty important to the story moving forward. But other than that, I don't have anything else. But I'm still going to be there, so I'm excited for it. But as for our discussion today, that is going to be it. Thank you all so much for tuning in. If you are on YouTube, like I said, you can hit that like button and leave us a comment, letting us know how trash Charlie's takes are as usual.
Season 3 is the best season.
And if you're on Spotify, you can give us a 5-star rating. And yeah, we will be back next week with more Daredevil and probably some other little new release thoughts and whatnot. So we will see you all then.
And
Thank you for
Severance.
tuning in. Oh, and Severance. Yes. Thank you all so much for tuning in. Sayonara.
Adios.
Peace.